They told me I'd die alone and full of regret. I'm 78. Let me tell you what's actually true, all of it. The good and the hard. That thing they warned you about. The life you're afraid to choose. The road nobody in your family took, and everybody had an opinion about. It will not go the way they promised, not the ruin they threatened you with, and not the fairy tale either. I'm Ruth. I'm 78 years old, and I never had a single child, not one. And for about 50 years, people told me to my face at dinner tables in doctors' offices that I would end my life. Sorry. So sit with me a minute, just a few, because what took me half a century to understand, I'll try to hand you right now so you can stop carrying a fear that was never yours to carry. I want to take you back to a kitchen. 1955 something, my mother at the sink, 6 of us. I was the oldest girl, so I was the second mother before I was 10. Bottles, diapers, a baby on my hip while I did my own homework, and I loved my mother. I need you to hear that. I loved her, but I watched her disappear, Beat. There was a woman in there once. I'd seen the photographs before. She played piano, she laughed with her whole face, and by the time I was old enough to really look at her, all of that was gone, sanded down. 6 kids, and a tired man had worn her smooth like a stone in a river. One night I was maybe 14. She was scrubbing a pot that was already clean, just scrubbing, and without looking at me, she said, "Quiet, Ruthie. Don't you dare do what I did." I didn't understand it then. I do now. She wasn't telling me not to have children. She was telling me not to vanish. And something in me, 14 years old, a dish towel in my hand, something in me decided I was going to keep the woman in the photograph, whatever it cost. That's where it started, that kitchen, that clean pot. I met my Sam at 24, married him that same year. And here's the thing, nobody expects Sam felt the same as me. We looked at each other and we said out loud, the two of us, we don't have to. We can build a different kind of life, just us. You would have thought we'd announced a crime. My mother-in-law cried, actually cried. My own sister stopped speaking to me for 2 years, because I'd insulted the family. A doctor. I was 26 years old. This man looked at me over his glasses and said, "You'll change your mind, and by the time you do, it'll be too late, and you'll be a lonely old woman." I carried that sentence for 50 years, a lonely old woman. And here's what I want you to understand about the pity, because if you've ever chosen a road nobody approved of, you know exactly what I mean. It doesn't come as cruelty, that would have been easier. It comes as kindness. The soft head tilts the, oh, well, maybe someday the way people would look at Sam and me at a holiday table like we were something to feel sorry for, like our life was a waiting room and the real living hadn't started yet. You absorb that year after year, you start to wonder if they can see something you can't. That's the part they don't warn you about, not the loneliness, the doubt. Other people's doubt poured into you a drop at a time until you're not sure whose voice you're hearing anymore. So let me say the thing now that I could never say then, the thing you're not allowed to say. It was wonderful. I'm not supposed to tell you that there's a rule. A childless woman is permitted to be brave or tragic or career-focused, but she is not permitted to say she loved her life. That's the one confession people can't forgive. Well, I'm 78. I'm past caring what I'm permitted to say, Sam, and I sold everything we owned in 1979 and drove this country from one ocean to the other. Twice. We lived in Portugal for 2 years on almost nothing in a house the colour of a peach. I have read, I actually kept count for a while, more than 100 books a year, most years of my adult life. We were present for each other in a way I watched my exhausted friends ache for. When Sam got sick, I was there, all of me. Nothing pulled in 6 directions, just there. A full life and a full house are not the same thing. Write that down. They are not the same thing. I had a full life. Now, I know what some of you are thinking easy for her to say. Ask her when she's old and alone. I'm old. So let me introduce you to some people. My friend Dorothy, 4 children. Dorothy did everything right, everything they tell you to do. 4 kids, 9 grandkids. Dorothy is in a facility about 20 minutes from me. And I go because I visit her, and I can tell you the phone does not ring the way she thought it would. The children are busy, that's not cruelty, it's just life. But she sits by a window waiting for a call, and I hold her hand, and I think this is the ending they promised me. And it happened to her. Children are not an insurance policy. I need the young people watching to hear that you do not have a child so that someone is obligated to sit with you at the end. That's not a reason. That's a debt you're putting on a person who never agreed to it. But I won't lie to you because I told you I wouldn't. I have another friend, Peg, also no children, and Peg is bitter angry at everyone who has what she doesn't. 60 years of resentment, and it's eaten her hollow. So it isn't the children, you understand. Dorothy had 4 and she's lonely. Peg had none and she's bitter, and I had none and I'm all right. It was never about the kids. It was about what you did with your one life while you had it. Now let me stop selling and let me be honest with you, because I promised you the hard part too. There is a loneliness, there is. It just isn't the one they predicted. Sam died 10 years ago, married him at 24, had him for 44 years, and then I didn't, and there are Sunday afternoons. It's always Sundays. I don't know why. When the house is so quiet I can hear the clock in the next room, and no car is going to pull into the drive. No grandchild is going to come banging through that door. That's real. I'm not going to pretty it up for you. But here's what I've learned about that ache sitting in it for 10 years. Everybody has one. The married have it, the parents have it, my God, the parents have it, the loneliness of a full house where nobody really sees you, nobody escapes the ache, we just get to choose its shape. I chose mine, and I'd choose it again. So you've been waiting for it, the regret, the part where the old woman finally admits the truth. All right, here it is. There is one thing I'd do differently, but it isn't the children. Let me tell you something I'm not proud of. For about 40 years, I was so busy defending my life that I forgot to build it. You hear me? I spent so much energy proving I was fine, arguing with my sister, arm wrestling, the pity, standing at every dinner table like a lawyer for my own existence, that I let the people slip. See, this is the thing nobody tells you when you have children. The world forces you into a web school pickups. Other parents. Sunday dinners you didn't plan. You get a family whether you tend it or not. When you choose my road, nobody hands you that web. You have to build it on purpose, deliberately, friend by friend, year by year, showing up when it's inconvenient, being the one who calls first. And I assumed, because I was free, because I had time, I assumed those people would just always be there. I didn't tend the garden. I thought freedom meant I didn't have to. That's my regret, not the empty crib. The friendships I let go cold because I was too proud and too busy being right to pick up the phone. My niece Claire, she's the one who calls me now. She's the one who'll come on a Sunday. And I nearly lost even her, because for years I was too busy proving I didn't need anybody to let anybody in. Don't do what I did. There's my mother's line coming back around. Don't do what I did. If you take the road less travelled, good, take it. But build your people on purpose, because nobody's going to build them for you. So let me stop telling you my story and let me talk about yours. Somebody warned you about something. A choice you want to make that your family doesn't understand. A life that doesn't match the one they pictured for you, and you're carrying their fear around like it's a fact. It isn't a fact, it's a guess. It's a frightened person guessing about a life they never lived and handing you the bill for their own fear. You don't owe anyone the life they'd have chosen for you. You don't. But whatever road you take, the ordinary one or the strange one, you tend your people, you build your web on purpose. That part is not optional, that part is the whole thing. So let me leave you with the truest thing I know after 78 years of it. A life without children isn't an empty life, but no life is without its quiet ache. And anyone who tells you otherwise, anyone on either side promising you a life with no cost, is selling you something. Stop waiting for permission. Stop carrying a fear that somebody handed you at a dinner table 40 years ago. It was never yours. If this reached you, if you've got somebody in your life quietly choosing a road the family doesn't approve of, send it to them. Let them know the old woman turned out just fine. And tell me down in the comments I read them, what's the thing you were warned you'd regret, the road they told you not to take? I'd like to know. Say it out loud for once. If you want more of these, just an old woman telling you the truth while I still can, you know where the button is. I'll see you next time.
Now go call someone you've been meaning to call. Go on.